Okay, so here we are on From Fed Up to Phenomenal. So welcome everybody to our free call today, the first of a series that I'm offering to everyone. I'm just so grateful that you're here, and I'm so grateful that you're looking for a different possibility to come out of the whatever it is that you've got going on. Maybe it's things not showing up the way you'd like them to show up. Maybe it's maybe you're just bored. Maybe you have no idea what it is you'd like to create. Whatever that is for you, please, please, please ask lots of questions. I actually wrote this book. I wrote this book, gosh, at the same time that I wrote my other book, Having Your Cake and Eating It Too, pretty much in simultaneity that I did them together. And this book has created some interesting things in that it wasn't ever called this. It was called, originally I called it Embracing and Celebrating Your Difference. And and it's funny because I actually had a computer crash soon after I wrote it, and I lost the only copy I had of it. And then it's just really sat for the last 2 years, and I've done nothing with it. And even after paying $1,600 to have it taken off the old hard drive. So it's been interesting, and it's only just lately that I've pulled it out again with the awareness that it's requiring to be published. And I've been talking to it and asking it what it requires, and it said it required a name change. So I actually changed the name, and I did call it From Fucked Up to Phenomenal. And then I got a sense that as much as I thought that was funny, and a lot of people thought it was funny, and a lot of people liked it, I still got a sense that it was requiring a little bit of a twist on it to make it more public savvy. So that's how come I've come to From Fed Up to Phenomenal. Now, Fed Up is where a lot of people are at right now. Having worked in this industry for over 30 years, I'm really seeing more than ever the where people are at, in that they're either fed up with what they're doing and they have no clue what's next for them. They're just fed up with their life in general. They're fed up with the state of the world. They're just fed up, full stop. We could just put a full stop at the end of fed up. So what would it take for us to break this apart to see that really being in the energy of fed up does not create more, it does not generate more, and your willingness to change that opens the door for something totally different. So I'd like to open this up first with, does anyone have any questions that they would like to ask in regards to where they're at, maybe something they'd like to ask for the future? I'm happy for this class to be yours. What would you like to get from this class? So is there anything to start with? No?
Yeah, what's underneath Fed Up?
What's underneath it?
Yeah, because it's sort of a withdrawal thing, sort of.
Yeah.
Is it different for everybody, maybe?
I get a sense it's different for everyone. So what is Fed Up for you?
Sort of thinking I can't change things, or I don't know how to change things, or I don't have the energy to, or you know, like all the myths, it's going to take energy to change it.
Yeah. So so just before, so I'm going to do a clearing. So I'll do the clearing first, and then for those of you on the call who have not done any Access Consciousness, I am actually using the tools of Access Consciousness, and I will be using the clearing statement, which is right, wrong, good, bad, POD, POC, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. You don't need to know what that is to get the change. There is a website. You can go and check it out, theclearingstatement.com. And if you have any questions, please ask me. So just coming back to you, Judy, saying what that was for you, how much is your world contracting with all of those points of view, and are they just points of view that you can change at any time? Yes, no? Yep, so everything, all of that is times God, Zoom, destroyed, and created all. Right, wrong, good, bad,
Yeah.
pop, pop, nine shots, squares, neons. I find it interesting in that the energy is up big time around being locked in a box, stuck in a box. You know, Gary's been doing a lot of calls and classes around getting out of the box, which is why I get a sense that now's the time for this book to come out in the world, because basically that's what the idea of the book is to get people out of the box of limitation. But firstly, you have to acknowledge that you have created the box of limitation. So when you actually acknowledge that you're the one who's created those four walls and a bottom and a top, and have locked yourself in it and chained yourself up in it, because most people don't even just put themselves in a box, they chain themselves in a box. And then that's what creates limitation, with the view that I can't ever get out. Well, is that really true? Or is that the created illusion that you're using to destroy yourself and destroy your life and living? So everything, all of that is times of God's will destroy and uncreate it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, and short, squares, neons. You know, what if you're willing to have a life that's so large that it just goes way beyond this reality? You know, is what you're choosing to create in this reality large enough for you? And that's
No.
Yeah, and for me, a lot of the people I'm working with at the moment are in exactly that same position. I know even for myself, I have a demand for something so much greater than I've ever been willing to have before. So you first have to acknowledge, okay, well, I'm bored, I'm tired, I've got no interest in anything, I have no clue what I want to do, what else is possible. You could be in all of those points of view, but really, have you actually got clear about what your larger life would be? What is the energy of your larger life? And are you willing to ask for it? That's the whole ask and you shall receive. And I'm not talking about a visual here. It's not about having a visual of what it's going to look like. You've got to start to get the energy and choose from that energy.
Yeah, I find it hard to pull up that energy. Like, it's very elusive for me.
Okay, so an energy of expansion, possibility.
Okay, cool.
You know, they're the energies that you really, I would like to think you're asking for your future. You know, what possibilities are you refusing with the points of view that you're choosing? Because every point of view that you have is taking you out of the possibility.
Yeah.
So everything, all of that is times of God's in when you destroy and uncreate it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, nine shorts, boys, neons. So, you know, having the awareness of your future energies that you desire to have as your life, to me, what if it is being the energy of truly what else is possible here? Where am I doing the limitation of this reality here? You know, what if you're willing to know that you can move into the energy of phenomenal in every single area of your life just by making different choices?
Yeah.
You know, where are you limiting yourself, you know, and for anyone on the call with points of view around money, with points of view around, you know, family, points of view about your career or job or whatever you want to call it, your work, you know, what points of view have you got, you know, in regards to your relationships, you know, because these, even parenting roles, all the points of view we have about parenting roles and what we can and can't do because of that role. And these are all the titles of chapters that I've actually written in the book, because these are all the areas of our life that we limit ourselves and we buy into the points of view of this is how we're supposed to do it from this reality's point of view. Well, what if none of that is true? Where are you refusing to create what your reality is for you, regardless of what we're told how we're supposed to do it in this reality? So everything that is times the God's in, destroy and uncreated all, right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, hold on, shorts, boys, neons. You know, when you're actually out of the box and when you're actually aware of the choices that are possible and available and you start to follow the energy, then there's so much more becomes available. So you can't see something if you've got a point of view about it. You can't even see that as a possibility. So, you know, it's interesting. I've been looking to see what else I can add, what else can I add, what else can I add to my life, and been asking a lot of questions. And I mean, Gary facilitated me many, many years ago about my capacity with food, and I'm getting to a point where it's like I get it would be fun to do something with food. I still have no clue what that is, because to me, I would love to do something that's different and fun, and so totally out there, different to what anyone else is creating or doing. And so I've been just asking lots of questions and following the energy of that. And my niece contacted me 2 weeks ago, and she's got her little ones turning 2 in a couple of weeks, and she asked me, you know, would I do the birthday cake? And all of a sudden, she sent me like a photo of what she would like. That is something that I would see a professional would do, that's been working in the field for 50 years, you know what I mean? And I first looked at the photo and went, what the hell? You know, I've never iced a cake like this before. And I thought, you know what? I can do it. I can choose that. Like, so already I've started to get ideas on what that is, how would I like it to be. And now that's turned into, well, what else can I do? What if I actually catered the whole birthday party? You know, what if I created a whole business in children's birthday parties? So that would be fun for me. So the thing is, you have to always be willing to stay in the question. It doesn't mean I'm going to do it. It just means in this 10 seconds, it puts a smile on my dial. And that's all that matters, is making the choices that, in my terminology, put a smile on your dial. So everything that is times the God's in, destroy and uncreate it. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, online, shorts, boys and neons. So, okay, yes, it is having your cake and eating it too, absolutely. I love that. And to me, that's about living that energy of the willingness to have your cake and eat it too, which is why I wrote that first book. So the challenge is making a low-carb cake. No, it isn't. There are heaps of amazing recipes out there for low-carb cakes. It's just a choice, Judy. It's just a choice. You need to go online. There's some amazing choices for low-carb cakes, which I think is funny. My family don't do low-carb anything. They do full-on sugar sugar everything, but that's a choice too. So look, can you actually just get to see that the box that you put yourself in is self-imposed. The box that you put yourself in is how much of it is to get you to be entrained to what everyone else is doing in this reality. Like, what if you were just willing to be so weird and so different that every single person judged you? Are you willing to be totally judged? It tends to always come back to this same thing over and over. You know, where are we unwilling to be judged? You have to be willing to be judged for who you choose to be in the world. I mean, I know for myself, the more I show up, the more judgment I get, not less. But you just let it stop you based on what? Like, I don't care who the person is or what they say or what they do. But no, I'm crystal clear about what I'm choosing. So where do you let people stop you because your unwillingness, or they stop you just because you do show up as a little different? What if you did, for those who are parents on the call, what if you did your parenting totally different? What if you actually did your work life totally different? What if you did your money totally different? You know, people think I'm nuts that I'm spending $30,000 to have 3 children's books published. And you know what? They may not sell any copies, but I'll have 3 nice books for my future grandchildren. So I just chose it because it was fun for me. I don't give a rat's whether they're successful or not successful. They were successful for me, the fact that I even wrote them, and I'm spending crazily $30,000 to have them published. But, you know, it's what I make my choices from what puts a smile on my face. So what is it that puts a smile on your face? What makes you happy? What drives you to get out of bed of a morning to welcome the day of, wow, what would I like to create today? Okay, so Janelle's saying, definitely looking at the chapter on parenting that sparked excitement. Yeah, well, you have to be willing to do your parenting from a totally different possibility. I mean, you know, and I can only speak from as a single parent, you know, single parenting was one of the probably the most toughest roles I've ever taken on, you know, in my lifetime, in this lifetime, and yet, and I look at it, and I can totally acknowledge that I had many anti-conscious moments, but I also had a lot of conscious moments. So to me, it's not about focusing on what you didn't do or how you could have done it better. It was like, wow, acknowledge how potent you were and the moments that you were phenomenal and amazing, and where you did empower your kids to more consciousness. I mean, gosh, my kids are well and truly into their 30s now, and I'm looking at their lives, and they're both creating phenomenal lives. um, you know, I have quite a estranged relationship with my son, mostly with his wife. Um, and at the same time, I don't let that stop me. You know, you can't let anything stop you ever. You just have to keep choosing, you know. And I have had some dreadful moments where I would love it to be different. And at the same time, I've had to get over myself. It's like, it just is what it is. It's not real. It's their creation, that the choices that they're making to exclude doesn't mean I have to destroy me in the process. I just keep choosing. Do I even know if these kids' books will get to my grandson and future granddaughter? I have no idea, but it doesn't matter because I'm choosing what works for me. So where are you refusing to make choices in your life that work for you under the guise of, oh, I have to do it for another person? What if you never had to do anything for another person? What if you only ever had to choose what worked for you? Where are you still refusing to include you in the computation of your own life? And so everything, all of that is times the God's in, will you stone uncreate it all, right, wrong, good, bad, pop, lock, unknown, shoots, boys, and eons. So how to be grateful for the crap we are and have created so that we can acknowledge all of our creations? Absolutely. You have to be willing to acknowledge every single creation, good, bad, and ugly, because you've created all of it. And what if none of it was wrong? You know, I don't look at any choices. I've made some pretty out there choices. And I've got myself to a place now where I don't judge any of it. I'm just grateful for it all, because it's every choice I've made has got me to who I am being today. And that excites me. And what else is possible? Like, sure, I'm on the road to discovering me, just like all of you on the call. We all are. For those of us who are seeking more and choosing more, we're all on our road of self-discovery. And in my world, I don't imagine that ever ends. But that's part of the adventure. That's part of the what's next, what else is possible. I'm always looking for what else can I add to my life? What else is possible? And I say yes to just about everything. Are you willing to say yes to just about everything? knowing that you can make a new choice in the next 10 seconds if it's no longer going to work for you. So everything, all of that is time to God's end, destroy and uncreate it. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pock, and nine shorts, boys, meons. So is there any questions? So I might have a process here for you. Let's have a look. So how many points of view are you using to undermine and create the limited box of your reality are you choosing? And everything that is times the God's in, will you destroy and uncreate it all, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pock, all nine shorts, boys, meons. How many points of view are you using to undermine and create the limited box of your reality are you choosing? And everything that is times the God's in, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pock, all nine shorts, boys, and meons. And how many points of view are you buying to be the undermining of you that you don't really want to choose? And everything that is times the God's in, you stone uncreated all. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pock, all nine shorts, boys, meons.
Say that one again.
How many points of view are you buying to be the undermining of you that you don't really want to choose? And everything that is times the God's in, you stone uncreated all. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pock, all nine shorts, boys, meons. So let's open this. I'd like to open this up a lot more and I can't do that without your question. So who wants to be vulnerable enough in talking about what is the box that they have got themselves locked into? Like, what are those four walls, ceiling, bottom that have got you so contained, and what areas of your life have you got yourself so contained in that you would like to change? Anyone? Or are you all out of the box?
Hey, Marg, it's Mel.
Yes, Mel.
So,
Justin Bieber Queen.
oh, I'd give a shout out to all the parents sitting around waiting for their kids to come rushing out of the concert last night. It was really kind of cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, the box, like, see, I always find myself in the same box. I've got a pretty big box. It's full of like lots of crap. And you know, when you were saying before how, you know, we have to acknowledge that we create it, I was like, that annoys me. I mean, not that you said it, but I know that I've created it. Yeah. And I'm like, well, why do I keep going back to this box that I don't like? It's not comfortable, but I keep going back to it.
So is that really true, or is that the lie you're telling yourself? You're telling yourself it's not comfortable, but what if it is comfortable in its uncomfortableness?
Yeah.
So everywhere you're lying to yourself by saying it's uncomfortable, but in truth it's actually comfortable in its uncomfortableness, times the God's evil, you stone and created all.
Yeah.
Thank you. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pock, all nine shorts, boys, meons. I mean, it's like a little cave. It's such an easy place to retreat to, isn't it, really? And really, how much...
Yeah, well,
and how much do you use
as you say
that,
I
show up?
Well, yeah, totally. And I get that it's, as you were speaking, I get it's like, it's a safe, even though, you know, whatever, like, because it'll be, it's always the same stuff. It's always like creating, it's always like around money, and then like, say, career, and then sometimes it's family. Family's not, that's all right. Like, I'm okay, really okay there, but it's always career, family, and what the fuck am I doing with myself?
Cool,
like,
excellent. So everything, all of that is times of God's in, just don't uncreate it all. Right,
yeah.
wrong, good, bad, pop, pock, on nine shorts, boys, meons. See how much you're focusing on the wrongness? What would it take for you to write a list of all the phenomenal things that you do create? Do you actually acknowledge them and ask for more of that to show up?
No, not really.
I
No.
know, because it's easier to focus on what's fucked up and what's wrong so you can be fed up, as opposed to looking at, wow, look at me. I just went out and bought a new car, didn't have the money, but I totally created this new car. You know,
Yeah.
oh, you're planning this beautiful wedding. You know, you're telling yourself that you're using money to stop yourself, but is that really true? Or do you just refuse to have so much fucking money you don't know what to do with it all?
Yeah. That seems, you know, light.
Yeah, so everything, all of that is. And everywhere that you're lying to yourself and creating all these conflictual universes with money and saying you don't have it, you can't create more because of it, times a godzillion, destroy and uncreate it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop,
Yeah.
lock, on, short, squares, neons. You know,
So
making...
why is it, sorry,
No,
why
I was
is it
just
that
going to
we,
say... No, sorry, you go.
because so, you know, as you're saying that, it's like somewhere, like I must totally refuse to have what I, you know, desire. You know, when things get too good, or you know, when I start stepping out of the box, then I always end up destroying it. And it's like I'm chasing my tail round and round in a bloody circle, and it's the same energy always that I limit myself with.
Well,
And then
how much do you love keeping yourself locked in the box? How much do you love the limitation of what you're creating with your life? Okay, Janelle's
I
saying,
must love it a lot.
me too. So you're not the only one on the call. So Janelle's also saying that she's in the same position. So the thing is, you know, where are you refusing to get clear on what you'd like to have and making a demand for that to show up? See, okay, I'm just going to say it. You work with me, right? So you, and I don't even know how long that's been now. But the point I'm making is, do you actually see how I do my life different?
Yeah.
And do you actually see that I don't generally ever let no money stop me from choosing what I want to have?
Never.
Exactly. So, because to me, it's never about money.
Yeah.
Like you know the story last year, and some of you may know this story, some may not. You know, last year I'm heading over to Rome to do Dane's Maestro for the second time, and this piece of jewelry valued at 43,000 or whatever it was shows up, you know, the day before I'm flying out, and just was screaming at me, "You're taking me home!" And within 10 minutes, I walked out of that store with a piece of jewelry valued at $43,000 that I paid $15,000 for. That I was then given 2 years interest free to pay it off, and I still get to wear that piece of jewelry as often as I choose, and I have 2 years to pay it off at no interest. Like that to me is a beautiful addition to my 10% investment account. So to me, where are you refusing? Most people would not have even stepped inside that store knowing that they had 10 minutes before they were due to meet somebody, knowing that they were leaving for Italy the next day and they had a million other things to do. And the willingness to step inside that store was because I was following the energy. And even if I sold that piece of jewelry to, you know, for 15,000 or 20,000, I've made $5,000 in a few months. Like, where are you refusing to have money show up be that easy? And it's just a choice whether, you know, I choose to wear it or if I choose to sell it. You know, I keep talking to it and saying, would you like to go live with someone else? And right now it says no. So the thing is, money wants to show up all the time, but if you aren't willing to take a risk, if you aren't willing to say yes to things, then your life will never change. You will be stuck in the box. Okay, so is me being aware and uncomfortable of the limitations of the box I have created part of the impetus of us changing and choosing something else? Absolutely. I mean, what if the box that you've created for yourself is not wrong? What if you can just go, okay, well, what else is possible here? What's going to take for me to get a piece of gelignite and blow this box apart? You know, it's now acknowledging and recognizing that you've created the box. Now it's got to be your choice to say, okay, I'm done with the box, blowing it apart. What would I like to choose next? And that has to be your choice. It has to be a new choice that you make in every single moment. It's the willingness to see the limitation of this reality. It's the willingness to see that everything here is about being controlled, manipulated, contained, and the refusal to have magic. Where are you refusing to be the magic and have the magic? So everything, all of that is times of God's end, destroy and uncreated. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, non, short, spoils, meons. Okay, so if you're on the line and you're not on mute, can you please mute yourself? Because I've got someone chatting in the background. Okay, it sounds like someone's on the phone. Is this helping? Mel, is this helping? Are you still on the line? I know she's got kids to get ready for school, so maybe that's a possibility that she's jumping off to organise them. So,
No, I'm here. Sorry, I was just washing my face.
Oh, that's all right. Soon not long out of bed. Cool. So did that help?
Yeah, it does, and it makes sense. And for me personally, it's like I'm more and more aware now of how I try to find the right thing to do instead of just choosing.
Yeah.
Like, and I want to figure everything out. Like, it's like I'll stay in my box because I have to figure out like everything that's going to go on or occur in whatever I'm doing. It's
well,
like trying to do the right thing.
Well, it's being locked in to try and make the right choice so that you get the right answer, so that your life turns out the way you've already decided it's supposed to turn out. That's the same thing as you don't want to start the journey, because unless you've got the road, you need to have the roadmap. You need to know what road to go down at what time, so that you actually get to stay at the right hotel, get to drink the right champagne, get to meet the right people along the way, and everything is rosy. But when you actually look at that, there's no adventure in any of that.
No.
You know, none of us know what, oh, wow, I just saw a wallaby running through the field, or jumping through the field. How does it get any better than that? It's beautiful out here at early morning. So the thing is, if you're refusing to have the adventure, oh my God, how boring is that?
Very boring.
I know,
very,
right?
very, very boring.
I know, right? And the thing is, for a humanoid, being bored is like death.
Yeah.
I know for myself, even just, can you please put yourself on mute if you're making a lot of noise in your background? Thank you. So the thing is, I know whenever I get bored, I know I have to start adding to my life. So to me, because boredom for me is like death. And I can look at all the times in my life where I'm bored, and I just look at that and it's like, okay, I haven't got enough going on. What else can I create? What else can I generate? What else is truly possible here? And I start adding to my life. So what else can you add to your life that's fun? And it's like I said, something that puts a smile on your face. What puts a smile on your face? What is that? What is one of the things that you could do that you're so good at, that you refuse to see that you're so great at, that you could be making so much money from?
I'll keep asking questions.
I think that's a good idea. So everything that is comes to God's being destroyed and uncreated. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, nine, shots, boys, neons. So anything else you
Yeah.
want to ask on that?
No, I'm just so aware of where I just go into looking for the right things. So, like you asked that question and I went, I'll ask questions, and I could feel the energy of, well, what is the right thing, you know? And I look at the things in my life now, it's like I've got them all lined up, but then I'm not choosing any of it because I'm still refusing, or I'm still looking for the right thing. It's just really crazy. The energy is just really,
Well,
that's my box.
it is,
Can we
but it
change that?
is. I mean, well, the thing is, you have to make a new choices. So I'm going to use you as an example. So I still remember this, you know, even though it was quite a few months ago, I still remember it as if it was yesterday. So I remember we had a conversation on, I think it was the Thursday or the Friday, and you said, oh, I'd like to have a new car. And I said, well, have you sat and written down what it is you'd like to get in your car? And you said, oh, no, I haven't. And so you started to list off some things that what you wanted. You know, you wanted to be able to fit the whole family in, you know, and I can't remember exactly all the things that you actually said at that time. And I said, okay, well, write a list of everything you want and then ask for it to show up. Now, was it 2 days later that car showed up? 3 days later?
Yeah, something like that. It wasn't, yeah.
So you were willing to do that with your car. Where are you refusing it to do with everything in your life? And I can recall at that time you didn't have money to pay for the car, but didn't you magically create the money to show up for the car?
Well, all I wanted to do was sign the papers, and that was it. That was all I was prepared to do. Take a car home and sign the papers, and that's what I did. So, yeah,
Exactly.
I guess.
But where are you unwilling to make that demand in every area of your life?
Well, as you say that, it's kind of like, well, I've done it there, so, you know, it's like, well, maybe there's a time frame for when you're allowed to create magic. Oh, I'll do it like once every 6 months or something.
Exactly.
You know?
And you know, you aren't alone in that. It's like, oh my God, I can't ask for too much to the universe because I might be being greedy. So everywhere you've gone to, that there's a limitation in the universe and you can't possibly ask for more because that would mean someone else would miss out. Everywhere you're refusing to be Oliver, can I have some more now, please? Times of God, we're destroying uncredible. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, online, short, squares, meons. And everywhere you got the point of view, you have to beg for it. You have to beg, borrow, or steal. Anywhere you're refusing to have the magic, times of God's end, destroy and uncreated. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, online, short, squares, meons. You know, like what else is truly possible and available for you?
Yeah.
I think someone's driving with the GPS on.
Or they're on the train or something.
Yeah, something like that, obviously. So, cool. So, what else would you like to ask or know?
What about if you're bored like me and don't know what you want to create? You just want something different.
Well, is that really true? What if you
I
don't
wouldn't lie to you.
what if you don't physically know what it looks like, but what if you were actually willing to start to get the energy of what that was and make choices? Like one thing I wrote about in my book was when I was at school, like I chose, when I went to high school, I wanted to go into higher education. And so I chose all the subjects to take me into higher education. And by the time I got to, and I know everywhere in the world school is different, so I'll try to explain it as best as I can in the Australian system. So you get to year 10, and then from year 10, a lot of the kids, I think you're around 15 to 16, a lot of the kids choose to leave to get jobs, or if you're choosing to go into higher education, you then move into years 11 and 12, which are the final 2 years in high school, but then you move into university. So I got to the end of year 10 of crystal clear that I was going on to finish year 12 and then to uni. And I know that I was the only one in my family that was choosing that. And it was so foreign. And at the same time, my mum was really sick and she was choosing to die. I went to a parent-teacher night with my dad because Mum was too sick. And he literally sat there and said, no, she's not going on. You know, she's just a woman. She'll just a girl who'll get married and have kids, and education is a waste of money. Now, I remember that like it was yesterday, and that was a long time ago. And so that was the end of my schooling for me. Now, I had chosen subjects that were pretty much did not put me into a position to go out in the world and get a job. But being the creative, generative person that I know I am, and I can totally acknowledge now that I always have been, since this book has really opened me up to see how creative and generative I've been in my entire life, and I've never really let anyone or anything stop me from what I'm choosing. I just, luckily, at the end of the year, I won a scholarship to, like, for what, I don't even know what you would call it in this, like, I'm talking like over 45 years ago. So it's probably the equivalent of a technical college, like so I got a whole list of all the things that I could pick, and I looked at the list and there was absolutely nothing on that list that, one, interested me, or two, that I was even had any qualifications for, as in previous years at school. And so I closed my eyes and I picked up a pen and I stabbed it and I went, oh, looks like I'm doing dress design. Now, I hadn't done history at school and I needed history for costume. I hadn't done art and I needed art to be able to do dress designing. I hadn't done sewing, so I didn't know how to sew. And here I was choosing dress design. So all the elements in the dress design course were nothing I had done previously. And yet, here I was, I signed up for a 3-year course. So I spent pretty much the first 2 years sitting in the coffee shop, smoking cigarettes and drinking coffee, and found myself at the end of those 2 years that I didn't get through. Luckily, or unluckily, whatever, on that Christmas Day, my mum chose to die. And pretty much a week after the funeral, my dad said to me, okay, you have to get a job. So I went, wow, this is interesting. I've just failed the last 2 years of classes. I'm not qualified in anything. I'm 17-year-old. What do I do? So I got myself dressed up. I got on a train. I went into Brisbane City. I walked into one of Australia's top wedding dress design companies and told them I was a dress designer and did they have a position available, and they said yes, and I started 2 days later. Now, I worked in that job for probably 10 years and I learned a lot. Like, I totally learned how to design and make wedding dresses, which is hilarious because that's what I told them that I could do when I first took the job. So clearly they would have seen that I had no clue what I was doing. But I didn't let that stop me, and I was also willing to have them sack me. You know, I was willing to take a risk. And, you know, that for me opened up so much more, because from there I enjoyed it. I loved putting smiles on brides' faces, making beautiful wedding outfits. And then I got bored, and then so it's like, what else? So then I went into the ballet company and I started making costumes for the ballet company, and I got bored. Then I moved into the opera company and I got bored. Then I moved into the theatre company. So to me, it's always like, what else, what else, what else? Because you've got to recognise we do get bored. So, you know, if you're trying to do the same thing over and over, expecting a different result, that's like death for beings like us. You have to be willing to keep choosing. And even though I stayed in the profession of designing and creating and making, it was different. I then sort of created my own businesses, and so then I was able to, you know, raise my kids and still have my own business, you know. So, and then just waking up one day and it's like, I'm done on this. I'm not choosing this. What else, you know, can I add to my life? Which then led me to, you know, taking part-time job in a health food store, which was hilariously funny because I was the most healthiest person on the planet. I used to live on coffee and smoke cigars. And you know, and then I had done that for many years because it was the one thing that kept me going, because I used to stay up all night and work. And so for me to say yes to a health food shop, but then that part-time job led to a massage course, which led to me doing body work, which led to me studying to be a naturopath, which led to me to coaching, which led to me to business coaching, which led me to hundreds of modalities, which led me into a whole spiritual metaphysical journey, which led me to Access. Like, how could you not be grateful for all of that? You know? So
I always get stuck when they say because with the Access thing about just feel the energy, get the energy of that. I don't, I feel like I don't know how to do that. Maybe it's because I'm a man and I'm British.
well,
I feel like I don't know how to get the energy of whatever it is.
Is that really true? So what if, just as a different possibility, what if you just get it so fast that you then go to the conclusion that you haven't got it, when in actual fact it's just come in super, super fast? So
how do I know if that's true?
Well, what do you know?
I know nothing.
Is that really true, or is that the lie you're perpetrating against yourself? So everything that is times a gazillion. And everywhere, that question, what do I know that I'm pretending that I don't know? What's that? Does anyone know that off the top of their head? That does my head in, that question. So have you done foundation? Is this Keith? Am I talking to Keith?
How did you know? Yes.
Your name has come up on the thing.
I've done foundation before, yeah.
You have
not
done
for a long time now.
Okay, cool. So
because I sort of dropped. I did Access back in 2008, and I've kind of not done much since then.
Okay, cool. Has your life changed since then?
No, not really.
So do you use the tools?
Oh, no, not really.
Okay. That's hilarious.
I never really felt like I got the tools. I never really felt like I really understood how to live life in 10-second increments or feel the energy and all that kind of thing. I don't know why.
Okay, so now I'm curious. So, and truth, is any of that true? So 8 years ago, Access was very, very different. I've been around for 14 years. So, even 14 years ago, it was incredibly different. 8 years ago, it was still very different. And now, holy dooly, like the speed of space and the speed of change that is occurring now, because so many of us are choosing, is such a gift. There you go. I have a picture now.
Nice to put the video on, yes.
So now I'm curious as to what made you choose to be on this call.
I don't know. Just hadn't done anything for a while. I don't know. I just thought it'd be interesting. I like the title, Phenomenal Life. I know I had a session with Gary once, and we worked on Phenomenal Life. That was a.
So can I ask you a question? So
Yes.
was it the energy of the class that pulled you to it?
I don't know. Maybe.
Maybe. So maybe you do know energies of expansion and possibility.
I mean, yeah, because I always feel like that's why I could have dropped out of Access, because I felt like I could never use the tools, so I couldn't feel the energy of that and get the energy of this. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Well, how much wrongness did you have to do of you to create that judgment of you, which created the separation from you and Access, which is what a lot of people do. So
a lot. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I wasn't. Yeah, I mean, I know. I'm sure I had this deep-rooted belief that there's something wrong with me. That I'm not as good as I should be, or.
Yeah, which is such a humanoid thing. To the first place we go to is judgment of ourselves. There's something wrong with us. But when you can actually get, and I've lived that my entire life as well. But the thing is, when you can truly get, there is nothing wrong with you. What else is possible and available. When you truly get a shift on the polarity, like to me, the shift on the polarity is to truly live from there is no right or wrong. And I catch myself the minute I go into a right or wrong, good or bad, okay, what polarity am I choosing here that's destroying me? Because polarity will always keep you back in the box of this reality. So to truly be out of the box is the willingness to see that the polarity is just a created illusion of this reality. You know, the other night I watched The Matrix again, and I haven't watched that since it first came out. So
Right.
just watching that again to see the insanity of.
Yeah, I should watch that again. Did you
Can
take the
you
red
guys
pill?
hear that? That's like these thousands of birds in the background. Can you hear it or not? It's pretty full on.
No.
Maybe they're all happy that we're choosing to get out of fed up into phenomenal. So watching The Matrix again just gave me a new perspective on how easy it is for us, you know, when you look at, you know, red pill, blue pill, you know, do you choose to just stay with the blue pill, stay the same as what everyone else is doing, you know, hence being locked in the box? Or are you willing to take the red pill and go on a ride and an adventure of something different and something that's more possible? And that's really the difference than to have the guy who then picks up a piece of steak and goes, wow, this juicy, amazing steak and this amazing red wine. You know, he was more willing to destroy him and others to buy back into this reality. So everywhere we're buying this reality as true and real and significant and destroying ourselves in the process. Times of God's Inn, will you join on Create It All, please?
Yeah.
Thank you. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, nine shorts, boys, meons. For the majority of us on this call, I think you would find this reality has never been enough for you. Like, I look around and I see people just like chooks with their heads cut off running around. You know, to me, there's not a lot of fun. There's not a lot of joy. There's not a lot of expansion of possibility. People are just
No.
locked.
I feel like I'm living that out. I always had these great hopes for myself when I was young. Like you talk about when you were like 17, 20, I always had this hope for great life, you know, and now here I'm turning 60 next week.
Yeah.
That's pretty old, isn't it?
No,
I think my
darling.
life's over, right?
You're
Does your life
young in
finish when you get this?
comparison to me. So the thing is, age is just a number in my universe. You know,
Right.
I'm in my 60s now, and I don't let that stop me from anything I'm choosing.
Yeah, well,
Like, to
Gary's
me,
getting up there now, isn't he? How old's Gary? He looks pretty good.
he's turning 75 in May.
Yeah.
So the thing is, he doesn't let he sees an age as a number in his universe that he doesn't let anything. He's working now as much as what, you know, someone in their 20s would work.
Yeah. I saw it. The only thing I did that global bars class in the fall, so I saw it in there in October.
Yeah.
Because
So
I'm in Texas as well.
So what would you like to add to your life that creates and generates more? Like, what would
all
put
kinds of
a
things.
smile on your face?
There's so many things I want to create. Find work that lights me up. You know, I want to find a new relationship that live somewhere that's exciting. All kinds of things that I'd like to have.
So
I say, and I have them all linked together. I say, well, I can't move because I don't have the money coming in, and I can't meet the right kind of woman because I don't have the kind of job that would, I don't have the kind of work. I'm not living a passionate life to attract the kind of woman I like to have in my life. So I've got all this story in my head that keeps
you
me
have got a
separate.
lot of stories. So who do all those stories belong to? Are they actually any of those stories true and real?
I don't know.
Or are they just a created illusion that you're using to stop yourself?
Right. That.
You know,
I think it's that.
It's really just a created illusion that you're using to stop yourself instead of sit down and write a list of what you would like to have. Write a
It's a
list
good justification, though. If anyone says, what's wrong with your life? You can say, well, I couldn't do it because of this.
It's the perfect justification. It's like me talking to Mel. What do you love about being locked inside the box of limitation you've created?
Yeah.
What's
Makes
comfortable?
me think of that song, Living in a Box.
Yeah, what's comfy and
box.
cozy amongst the uncomfortableness are you choosing?
So what were you suggesting? Sorry, I didn't want to lose what you were telling me. Write a list.
So I was going to suggest that all those areas of your life, write a list of what you would like to have, write down a list of your ideal woman, of what that would be for you, but also write a list of all the things you would not like to have in a woman and pock and pod them until you have no charge on them whatsoever. Because generally we pull in what we don't want generally more than what we pull in what we truly desire to have. So you have to make sure that the things that you don't desire to have, you have to have no charge on them whatsoever. And then if they show up, you have to have no point of view. So do that. Then do with what's fun for you. Like, look, reflect over the times in your life that were fun, that was easy, money was sort of flowing for you, even if it wasn't huge amounts, but there was a fun and a joy in what it is that you were choosing. Like, there must be times in your life where you've had that.
Well, I think there was once. I think it was back in 1975.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So
I
what?
have to think about it.
Okay, so then write down, I want you to write down the elements or the energies of who you were being at that time.
I don't think I've ever been really excited about my life because I think I've always been like, well, what will people think? And I hope I'm doing the right thing and all this judgment shit, you know. I'm trying to think now you're saying that.
Yeah. Well, most of us humanoids do. But what if you're willing to change that? The thing is, you can either look at, I'm turning 60 and my life's coming to an end and it's boring and I have no money and I don't have a woman. Or you can look and go, Yahoo, I'm turning 60 and now I'm ready to live my life of choice. It's just a mindset you have to now change. Like to me, I just see my life in the 60s as a new beginning. Every day is a new beginning. What am I going to create today? What more fun can I add to my life? Where can I go? Who can I talk to that's going to contribute to my life? Where are you unwilling to have others contribute, or are you just bored and holding yourself up in a?
I have to do it all myself.
Yeah, you have to do it all by yourself. Hey, that was the story of my life. So everything that is times of God's end when you join uncreated all.
Yes,
right, wrong, good, bad, popcorn, 9 shorts, boys, neons. But only you can change that. All the walls and barriers you put up to other people coming into your life to contribute to you, everywhere you're refusing to have their contribution with all of those God's ends and points of view and walls and barriers that you have up, times of God's end, we just don't uncreate them all. Yeah. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, 9 shorts, boys, neons. It's time to get out of the fed up. It's time to get out of, I am dying here, because really, literally, you are dying. And it's like you're dying.
I know, I've turned 60. I'll be dead next year, probably.
It's just a choice, Yeah,
it's your choice.
Too. Yeah. So it's all just a choice. Instead of like, wow, I'm so excited for turning 60. What else can I create and generate? Like, to me, what if you actually didn't see age as a barrier to creating your life of choice? You can turn everything around in a nanosecond. It's just a choice to turn it around. It's like when I talked about with Mel, when she sat down and got clear that she wanted a new car and what sort of car she wanted, it showed up 2 days later.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, but
did she do other magic tricks as well? A few card tricks?
Well, you have that capacity too. Where are you refusing to be and have that?
Yeah.
It's just a choice. I like that. Yeah. Mel can have it. Anyone else can have it, but I can't have it. So everything that is times to God's end, just turn on credit. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, 9 shorts, boys, neons. I'm just seeing if I've got any other questions here.
That's the other thing I have to ask you as well. That's the other thing in Access. I could never, doing the clearance statement, everyone said, oh, that feels better. I never felt anything happening, That's, Gary would like do his thing with his hands and he'd be like, oh, you guys really.
Okay, so.
A lot of you guys are into that, and then they do the pop and pod and everything, and everyone says, oh, that's better. And I don't feel anything coming up or going away.
Okay, so can I ask you a question? It's Keith, isn't it? Keith?
Yes.
Keith, I'm going to let you into a little secret.
Uh-oh. Shh, don't tell anyone.
Exactly. Don't tell anyone. 14 years of Access, I still don't.
Oh. Oh, really?
And what if it's not wrong?
Oh.
What if we all perceive energies in a different way?
My hands are supposed to do this kind of thing.
No, my hands don't do that, and thank God my hands don't do that. But also, some people get it as a perception through their body. So my sense for you and is how much do you just get it as a knowing or as awareness?
Maybe.
Maybe a little bit pregnant. Either it's yes or no.
I do. I do look a little bit pregnant these days too.
Oh well. So the thing is with that is everywhere you're making you wrong when you actually just know. Do you know what? I'm so grateful that I get it as that. I'm so grateful that my hands don't wiggle. I'm so grateful I don't need to go to a whole class. Oh my God, that just did whatever. That put shivers through my body. Like, to me, I'm grateful. I just get it as an awareness. So
All right.
everywhere you're making you so wrong for your phenomenal awareness, would you please now destroy and give all that up? Times of God's
Yes.
in, destroy and uncreate, right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, nine shorts, boys, meons. You're refusing to know that you know. That's the biggest destruction, self-destruction to a humanoid.
Mm.
You know, instead of seeing you of a gift of awareness,
Right.
you would have awareness that the average person doesn't have, but you make you wrong because your hands don't wiggle. That's nuts in my universe. So what if you
or the
really...
awareness doesn't come in with the way I think it's supposed to be. I think it's supposed to be a big sign that says, "Oh, move to I don't know, California,
exactly.
or move back to England or something, or move to
Yeah,
Australia."
I know.
Whatever.
Instead of just, okay, I've got 10 seconds to live the rest of my life. What do I choose? Okay, body, where would be fun for me to live? You're waiting for, a proverbial, barbecue or something to drop on your head to say, okay, this is God speaking and I think you should move back to the UK. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Instead of just, what would be fun for you? Where would you like to go that's fun and joyful for you?
Yeah.
It's just, and then it's just a choice, and then you don't have to stay there forever. You can go and live there for a month or a week or whatever, and then you can go, okay, this is not working. Where would I like to go and live now?
Right. See, that's the other thing. Is the access tool. I get stuck with the 10-second increments. You decide to move back to England, then 10 seconds later, I don't like that. It doesn't seem like 10 seconds applies to a decision like that. Or it feels like that's such a mistake. You move anywhere. You move across the country. You move back to England.
Yeah,
I live in the States now, in Texas.
But you go straight to the wrongness. See, I don't see any of the moves that I've made as wrong choices. I see every move that I've made as giving me more awareness. See, what if
I know,
every
but I
choice...
guess it all comes back to my dad saying, "Oh, what were you doing? It's all messages from my dad in the past. That was a stupid thing to do."
Okay, so who are you being right now? How many points of view have you taken on from your dad that you're now using to destroy yourself with? So all of those, yeah, exactly. So all those points of view you've taken on from him, and now you're destroying your life and your living because of his points of view. Times of God's Zoom, would you please now return them all to sender with consciousness attached? Let's do a 1, 2, 3. So everything on 3, return them to sender. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And everywhere you've put all his points of view into your future that you're now destroying your future with, can you please now do uncreate and destroy all those times of God's in? And we'll do some 4s. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, all 9 shorts, boys, me on. So on 4, let's uncreate and destroy those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So do some 3s and 4s whenever that stuff comes up to clear it.
I don't really know what that is. I know that's new, but I don't really know what that is.
Okay,
Was I supposed to do something when you were doing the 4 just then?
Well, it's just clearing the energy in a sense. So a 3 is anywhere that you're in the limitation of of your choices. So you're just clearing whatever that is in the present moment. And then the 4 is everywhere you've already put those points of view into your future, so that when you get to your future, it's like Groundhog Day, you're living the same shit on a different day.
That is
how much of you...
Groundhog Day, that is my life.
Yeah, so everywhere you're living Groundhog Day, that's because you keep putting those same points of view into your future, and instead of uncreating and destroying the points of view that you're living from, which is the 3. And the 4 is clearing the future, so that when you wake up tomorrow, you've got a clean slate. So have you seen the movie 50 First Dates?
No, what is it? 51st State?
Yeah, 51st Dates. Yeah. It might be a good movie for you to watch. This girl in this movie, every day she wakes up, she has no memory or recall of the day before. And so she starts every day as a fresh new day. So that would be a
That's
good
what
thing.
I need.
Exactly. Exactly. Because my sense is you're totally destroying yourself with Groundhog Day.
Probably true.
Maybe you need to read my first book, because that first book, Having Your Cake and Eating It Too, is about getting people out of Groundhog Day. So, because I feel
What's it called? What's your first book?
Called Having Your Cake and Eating It Too.
I'm on a diet. I can't do that.
It's about creating. It's about getting clear about what you would like to have as a generative, creative life, and it gives you a lot of questions and a lot of tools to use to actually start to know that you can get out of the limitation of I can only have this, I can only have this, I can only have this, into a smorgasbord of choice. Now, you being British, you should know that that's a very British expression, is having your cake and eating it too. So,
that's right.
Except most of us.
I
was just going to say,
I always
most of us
lapse
as
into an
kids.
Australian accent when I'm listening to you talking. You know, it just comes out almost.
One thing you do have to see is how often were you told as a child that you can't have your cake and eat it too?
Right.
And if you were raised in
because
Britain,
I was brought up with limitations, you know, we were brought up with, you can't afford that and can't do this.
Exactly. So, but the thing is,
we
just
always have to look
because
for a bargain and find the cheapest thing you can get, you know.
Yeah. So the thing is, being raised like that doesn't mean you have to be 60 years later still living that. You have to be willing.
Really?
I was raised like that too.
I didn't know that. I thought I had to live for the rest of my life.
Well, how much fun are you
Why
having?
do I keep choosing it?
Well,
do I have to bang my head against the wall until it stops?
Well, what do you love about living in that limitation? There's something about it you love that you keep choosing.
I don't know. Sometimes I wake up in the morning and think, what the heck am I doing, you know?
Well, what if you wake up now of a morning and go,
what's the point of even being alive if it feels a bit pointless? What am I doing here? What's the point if I'm not creating anything meaningful, you know?
Well, it doesn't have to be meaningful. What if it was just fun? Where are you refusing to have fun in your life?
I feel like I've got to do something big, like invent the cure to cancer or something, you know. Something meaningful, change the world, you know, save the whales.
So what if changing the world was you waking up happy one morning?
What? I don't know what that's like.
What if it's a new choice?
I think that was back in 1984, I think.
Well, is it time to make a new choice? Only you can make it. Otherwise, everyone's going to be kicking and screaming for you to make it. But the thing is, only you can make that choice. So, you know, maybe run those processes that I ran a couple of times to start to break apart the box of what you've created yourself as.
Oh, right.
Or what you've created yourself locked into. It's like you not only have created a box, but you've chained it all up. It's like how many lifetimes were you, what was that guy's name? It eludes me right now. The one who used to break out of boxes, chained up boxes. Houdini.
Oh, Houdini,
yeah. How many lifetimes were you Houdini, and now you've got yourself so chained up, and somewhere you've brought the point of view that you can't get out anymore. You're done on being Houdini. So everything that is, that actually's got a bit of an energy charge on it. So everything that is.
Your hand started to do this.
Absolutely. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, nine shots, was me on. So, you know, really, this has to be up to you now. No one can make you change.
Oh, come on. You can just wave your magic wand.
You kind of look like him.
Huh?
What?
You kind of look like Houdini.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he, right? Not that I even know.
What does Houdini look like? I don't know.
I don't know.
This is my hair.
Okay, so we've got a few things showing up here. So, so many expectations and conclusions. Absolutely. All the expectations and, you know, decisions, judgments, conclusions, expectations, everything we have destroying ourselves. Like, please start to become aware by asking a question. Okay, am I doing a conclusion here? Pock and pod. Am I doing a judgment here? Pock and pod. Am I doing expectation, limitation here? Pock and pod. Like, start to become aware. And it's like, what new choices can I make here that would be
But
different?
are you supposed to just like pock and pod until you feel something, or you just say pock and pod? Because I guess that goes back to my limitation about supposedly not feeling energy, you know. Like we say, oh, pock and pod that, or do you just...
I just be it. Just be the energy of pock and pod. Well, sometimes I say it. Sometimes I just go, oh, pock and pod all that shit. Sometimes I just be the energy of, I'm not choosing that limitation. You have to make a demand of you to say, I'm not choosing that limitation anymore. I'm not choosing that judgment anymore. I'm not choosing that conclusion anymore. Because most of us are destroying ourselves with our judgments, our conclusions, and our limitations, and everything else that this reality classes as valuable. None of it's valuable to me. None of it. It's just bullshit in my world now. I'm using lack to get out of my pretty and comfortable box. I love it. What else is possible? Great question, Ali. What else is possible now that you're truly willing to step into? And it is time to get out of the pretty and comfortable box. And is it really pretty and comfortable, or is it comfortable in its uncomfortableness? So start to really acknowledge that. And another one, thanks, Margaret Keith. You just gave me the awareness of how I receive energy. I have found after a long time that 10-second increments is tied to going into conclusion rather than being open to receiving the energy, the next 10,000 lives. Exactly. So you've got to just be really aware of, a lot of people, you can either use the 10-second increments for you to create more, or you can use it to destroy you. And I watch a lot of people use 10-second increments to destroy themselves. So it's your willingness just to keep choosing in 10 seconds.
Can you
and
talk
choosing.
more about that?
So
How do they use it? You just said you've seen people use the 10-second increment to destroy themselves. Can you just talk about that?
Yeah. So
Like, what do you mean?
Well, I'll use an example. So quite a few years ago, I was on a facilitators class here in Australia, and it was up on the Sunshine Coast, and there was a couple who live up near there who have organic dairy, and this organic dairy is the most amazing cream and milk that gets produced from their dairy. So they offered, it was a large class of over 100 people, and they offered to bring fresh milk and cream to anyone in the class who'd like to purchase. So they did a scout around, and they took a list of those who wanted cream, those who wanted milk. So then he brought all this down to the class the next day, and they said there was a price for the milk. Say the milk was $5, but they never gave a price to the cream for the cream. So when all the produce arrived, everyone went and picked up their milk, but there were all these cartons of cream left over, or containers of cream, and so the person who organised it was really upset because she'd paid the guy, but the people who'd put their hand up to say yes to the cream were no longer refusing to pay for it, because it was for cream, like for the price of cream, it was would be seen as expensive. But in my world, it's the most delicious cream. Why would you not pay for the amazing cream? But the people who ordered it didn't want to pay the price that they were asking, so they just left it there. Now, Gary used that as an example of someone who uses 10-second increments against themselves. So, because in his world, he said, okay, you made a choice to order milk and cream. Now you're saying, oh, well, I have a new 10 seconds. That's too expensive. I'm not going to choose that. But see how that's using the energy against
Makes everything
yourself.
smaller.
Everything contracts. Yeah.
Cool.
So instead of, wow, that's the most expensive cream I've ever chosen, and oh my gosh, my body just loves every mouthful. See how that's the expansion? Whereas the contraction is, oh no, I'm no longer going to pay, you know, $10 or whatever it is for a container of cream. So
Cool.
a lot of people I see it a lot in Access of
Sounds
people
like me.
using the 10-second increments against themselves. Instead of, okay, I've got 10 seconds, what do I choose here? You know, because it's the choice that gives you the awareness. Because the key here is awareness. It's not about your choices. It's not about right or wrong choices. The key in my world to everything in this reality is to have more awareness. So,
but it's also like for like Mel was talking about having to make the right, having to do it right,
which
right?
is all
That
limitation.
but it also keeps, like I just had a big aha thing about the boxes that I've created in all the areas of my life.
Yeah.
And how, you know, I don't want to be wrong, but really it's I want to be right is keeping me in the box rather than going, you know, just disregarding both of those choices and going, well, what else is possible? Like, the pretty uncomfortable box. Yeah. Cool.
So,
or how does this get any better? And acknowledging that, hey, this is a cool box, but what else is possible?
So, and this is great that you brought this up, because I use another fantastic example from Gary's life, because his thing is he doesn't care what something costs him. To me, for him, it's always about making the choice and getting the awareness, because he said that's more valuable to him than any money that he ever pays for anything. And so when he created that, what did the Americans, legal counsel, when he created that woman as legal counsel and her husband to do the new website, what showed up was when he had the awareness of how much she was destroying access and destroying, and by creating judgment and separation between him and Dane and others in the team, when he had that awareness, he made a new choice to get rid of her and her husband. Now, that choice cost him $2.5 million. And he received a lot of judgment in that, oh my God, aren't you more aware? How come you didn't get that she was going to do that?
Yeah,
How come
I thought Gary would never make a wrong decision. He'd always have that, like, oh, it tells me.
But he doesn't function from a right or wrong choice. He never looks at any of his choices as right or wrong. He looks at every single choice as what awareness has this given me. And he doesn't care how much it costs him. He just lives from what awareness is this choice giving me. So when Shannon, his stepdaughter, I was on a class where she really questioned his awareness. She said, how come? And he said, you're judging me. You're judging me in my choice. He said, I am so grateful that I had this awareness of her. He says, now I know the energy I know when that energy shows up again, what that energy is. And he said, the gift of this whole thing has enabled Access to grow. It's enabled the team of Access to step into all of who they be. He said, it's changed so much by me making that choice. So everywhere you're all refusing to stop judging your choices, times of God's end, will you join uncreated all, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pockle, 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. What if you never ever made another right or wrong choice? It was just a choice to give you an awareness of something. Are you willing to now make your choices from what awareness? If I choose this, what will my life be like in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years? If I don't choose it, what will my life be like in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years?
Whoops, sorry. I just switched computer.
That's so funny. Rasputin has showed up on my screen. So everything all of that
I
is.
forgot I was doing that.
Can anyone else see that?
We were doing a thing on the money book the other night and I changed my name.
Oh, that's hilarious. So everything that is times of God's end when you stand on cradle. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pockle, 9 shorts, boys and beyonds.
Yeah, I changed my name back.
Is this helping? like, are you actually seeing how much you're destroying yourself in the limitation of right or wrong, good or bad, in the polarity? The
Who, me?
polarity, everyone on this call making choices from right or wrong, good or bad. Like
Yes.
when I chose to run, with getting these kids' books published, knowing they were going to cost me 30 grand, and 30 grand I just didn't have sitting around. Like, to me, I don't choose to go into the wrongness of that. I just went, okay, universe, where's all the money to pay for this now, please?
Right.
And even though I've had some real insane things show up with this company, like, okay, it's given me all this new awareness. It's not right or wrong, good or bad. Would I publish with them again? Probably not. But I'm grateful for all the new awareness, because now I'm more aware of, for my next book, getting the clarity of what sort of publisher would I like to work with.
Yeah. Like, I've always thought I'd like to have write a book too, but
So,
then I think, well, what it would be about, and then blah blah, all these judges, they never start. I do have the book title though.
okay, so what's the title?
It's called "Stay Awake for Your Dreams."
Okay, so what if you wrote the book for you? What if writing the book changed your whole life?
Well, it is exactly the message for me. Yeah, it's what I need to learn. But I always think to myself, well, I can't write a book about how to help others change their life, because I haven't changed mine yet.
But what if changing yours is writing the book?
Well, yeah,
Where are you trying to put the cart before the horse?
No, no.
So everything that is, tons of God's understood, uncredible, right, wrong, good, bad, pop, up on 9 shorts, boys, millions. It's like Nike. Just do it. Just start.
Yeah.
Start something.
I do have an easy button.
That was easy.
Well, there you go. But the thing is, you could be sitting here, in another 10 years and saying the same thing, instead of just, what? Every day I'm going to write 10 minutes. I'm going to contribute 10 minutes of my life to my book every day. 20 minutes, whatever that is for you, and write it how you want it. Like, to me, I didn't sit and write a chapter at a time. That's not how I do things. I jumped, and like, even this new book, it's even still, I haven't quite configured what chapters I want where.
I always think, get down to like, should I start handwriting it, or shall I type it into the computer? Or I don't know. I'm not a very good typist.
Yeah, but you use every excuse under the sun to make a new choice. I'm surprised you even get out of bed of a morning.
Well, I almost didn't.
Well, there you go. So everything that is tons of God's industry and uncredit. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop up on 9 shorts, boys, me on. Sorry?
It is 5:30 p.m., so I thought I'd better get up.
Excellent. So the thing is, like, in what you listed before, like when you said you'd love to have, a life of, travel, or being in different countries, and a woman and all these things, the thing is, your vibration, whatever energy you're choosing to vibrate at, is what you attract more of. So, if you're choosing the vibration of not creating, then even if a woman does show up, you're going to pull in that same energy, because that's going to be the vibrational match to where you're at. So, if you are someone who does say a lot of judgment, then you're likely to pull in the energy of someone who does a lot of judgment, because there is a vibrational compatibility that we have with people. So when you're actually out creating and generating a life, you're more likely to meet someone who's also out creating and generating a life. And if they're not, then you won't be interested in being with them, because there will be.
If I'm out in a group, I seem to get on really well. People think I'm funny. Somebody said you ought to be on stage the other day. I remember a year ago when I was 16, a producer in London told me I ought to be on stage one day.
Okay, well, is there something you're refusing to be? Why would you not choose that?
Well, shit, I don't know even where do you start with that?
You just
well,
start.
I've done improv classes and things like that, I guess.
Okay, so why wouldn't you ask for it to show up? Who can I talk to? Where can I go today to meet someone who can open that door for me? Like, where are you refusing to ask questions to have your life show up? you
I
know,
suppose so.
and
That's a
that's
good one. Again, I'm asking for a big sign saying, "Oh, call Joe Smith" or something, Or,
you're waiting for everything to come knocking at your door and saying, "Hey Keith, okay, come with me today," instead of you have to step outside the door to actually make new choices. So, okay, it's coming to an end of your day over there now, but what if tomorrow is a whole new day? What if tomorrow you wake up and go, "I'm choosing everything to be totally different today,"
all right.
and start choosing in 10 seconds. Okay, I've got a new 10 seconds. What do I like to choose now? Oh, I'd like to have a cup of tea. Okay, that 10 seconds is over. And sit and enjoy your cup of tea for however long that takes to enjoy your cup of tea. And then you go, okay, well, I've finished my cup of tea. What would I like to choose now? And keep practicing with the choosing. It's like you have no concept of what it is to keep choosing.
No, I never. I always felt like like I said, I always felt like that 10-second increments don't get that at all.
So it's time to stop being negative Ned, and it's time to start creating your life. Okay, so everything, all of that is times of God's in, we just turn on create it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, on 9 shorts, boys, meons. It's like what I said earlier in the conversation. It's like my niece sending me this photo of this professional birthday cake, and I'm going, holy shit, I haven't iced a professional cake like that in my entire life. But I'm not letting it stop me. I'm going to have a shot at it. I have no clue what it's going to show up as, but it's just, it feels fun and expansive to do something different. And doing something different is what we love because we are different. So your willingness to know and acknowledge how different you are, that we actually enjoy doing different things, regardless of whether it turns out or not. It doesn't matter. There's no such
I
thing
guess
as
I always think I
failure.
have to have reason and justification for everything I do. Why are you doing that? Oh, well, blah, blah, blah.
Well, that's what you love about being in your box. So, and what do you love about being fed up?
I don't know. I have to wonder. There must be an upside to being fed up. There must be an upside, otherwise I wouldn't keep choosing it. Presumably.
Exactly. You love it. You're totally addicted to it. And when you acknowledge that, then you can change it. So everyone on this call who is totally addicted to being fed up and bored and contained and miserable and unhappy and sad, instead of stepping into and stepping out of the box into phenomenal, times of God's in, we used to join Uncreate It All, please. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, on 9 shorts, boys, neons. It's like, what if you, every single day, you make one new choice that takes you out of the box? Start with one, and then the next day, make it 2, and then the next day, make it 3. Because it's
3 choices in one day.
Yeah, 3 new choices, not 3 same choices. So do that as fast or as slow as you would like. But the thing is, you have to, nothing's going to change unless you make a new choice. Choice is what creates a change. Okay? So everything, all of that is times of God's in, destroy and uncreate it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, on 9 shorts, boys, neons. So just letting you know, we've got 2 minutes to go to the call. So on that, I just want to wind up in that we've been on here for nearly an hour and a half. So I just want to say I am starting in 2 weeks a 3-week telecall series at a very discounted price. And we will be delving more into the specifics of the box you've created, tools and techniques to get you out of that. Today's really just been a taster of the possibilities. I will be delving into specific areas of your life, so we can start to open that up to see where you are living from that limitation and refusing to make new choices. If that's of interest to you, then please register for that. It's $195 for either in Australian dollars, Canadian dollars, or for the Indian. People in India, those 3 countries are 195 Australian. And then all the other countries are 195 US. So I've given it a discounted rate for those who are in us poor countries, where the dollar is very pathetic right now, incredibly pathetic.
I thought the Australian dollar was strong. Is it?
No, the Australian dollar is very, very weak at the moment, very weak. We're down to, yesterday it was about 75 cents to the US, which is not great.
Why can't I pay in Australian dollars?
Well, because you're living in America.
Yeah, but I've got a deal there. I pay in Australian dollars.
So what would it take for you to create in the next 2 weeks, just like that magic, $195 to do the class? Just a choice, but you have to ask for it too. So if you've got any questions, please listen to this again. I won't be sending out recordings of this class. I only did 2 clearings anyway, but write them out, run them, just run them, and start to see where you are limiting yourself and keeping yourself stuck. We're meant to be having fun here, folks. Life is not, we're not, my motto has always been, I'm here for a good time, not a long time. So the thing is, enjoy every moment you can, because none of us know how much longer we're here for. So if today's not the best day of your life, if today's not a celebration, then what the hell are you doing? So please, it's time for new choices. Be an invitation to being happy on the planet. Be an invitation for something greater in your own life. But if you're hiding away in this little comfortable box that no one can see, hiding from the world, then you aren't being phenomenal. Sorry? Stop talking about you. I'm probably pretty much talking about the majority of people on this call. So humanoids love to hide in their boxes and be away from people. And the thing is, that is an incredible limitation. So it's time for something different now. What else is truly possible? So maybe your box is your T-shirt, Keith, but anyway, it's your choice to come out of it. So what else is truly possible? So thank you, everyone, for joining us, and please send me an email if you've got any questions you want to ask from the call. I'll get the recording out probably later today. So have a great day, everyone, even if it's the end of your day or if it's the beginning of your day. Have a good one, whatever that is, and what would it take for great champagne to show up for us all to drink today? That would totally work for me. So, yeah. And it's only 8:30 in the morning, so what else is possible? So thanks, everyone. I'm going to turn off the recording now. Thanks, everybody. Bye.